Good evening, my Facebook fans out there in Facebook land. Hope everybody is doing well this late Wednesday evening. Hope you've had a very good day. As some people like to call this here's hump day, where you're moving in the middle of the week. Basically, you're on one side of the hump working to the middle, and now you're sliding down the other side to the weekend, is the way most people view this day and the week as well. I try not to view it that way. As a personal note here, I kind of see every day as a day to live right then, to do what you got to do to get done. And there are certain things that you go about in a day that happen on that day. But to me, it's not a hump day because everything that I do is I try to be in today, because we're not promised tomorrow, can't change yesterday, and so we stay where we are and we try to progress and do the best we can. And so, anyway, enough about that. A little bit of philosophy side things there, but just a little bit of things where I believe myself, and it helps me to stay focused, because when you wake up, you start a new day. And tonight's topic that I want to talk to us about here is something we come back to all the time. It's called building belief. And I wanted to come back to this evening because many times this is something that is so easy to lose. We get in ruts sometimes, or we get dragged down by because we change people or environments, or we change, something happens in our life that we get associated with people who have a different belief or a negative connotation in their life. And that begins to eat away at us and to pull us down. There's even a scripture that says, evil communications corrupt good manners. I had to think on that for a minute. I had to say how it went, but yeah. And so it does not give us in that verse, it does not say, well, this is possible, blah, blah. It says they do. Okay? Evil communications corrupt good manners, and that's from the King James Version. And the idea is that when you get around these negative things, that's what it's referring to as evil, things that are not on a positive note, things that are not godly and so forth, then that corrupts the good manners that you have, and because you fall away so fast. And so I want to go back to this evening to building belief. And there's a couple of reasons I want to do that. One, as I just said, it's easy for us to fall away. Two is, and I mean fall away as in we revert back, okay? Our belief diminishes when you don't do things, a little fuzz right there, when you don't do things that keep you going in the right direction you want to go. Then it's like weeds in a garden. If you don't hoe and take them out, they start to grow and take over the garden. And I know we use that a lot, but it's so effective and so true. But the second reason is that going back to the book here of Ripple Marketing by David Scoletti, a very good book. I try to read it and go through, and you might want to get you a copy because it's very powerful. Gives us his life journey through this marketing world, and what he's discovered and what's worked for him, and some facts that he states that are also other mentors and teachers and so forth teach the very same thing. And when you find that going on, many times it means there's something about that is worth holding on to, looking into, and digging deeper. And that's what I want to do here this evening. I want to start something for this Wednesday evening that we will continue for the next few days in breaking down some things. And so, building belief. I want to read to you here a quote, okay? And it says here, it's the repetition of affirmations that lead to belief. And once that belief becomes deep conviction, things begin to happen. And that's from Muhammad Ali. As we know, the great boxer, many years ago. And what he's talking about here in this is that through the bunch of repetitions, you build your belief. And he refers to affirmations. And there are affirmations, and I think that everyone should have affirmations if you're trying to grow. Now, if you're not, then it's not that important of a deal. But if you're trying to grow, you need to continuously feed your mind, and you want to grow, and you tell yourself, I am valuable. I am the leader people are looking for. I am whatever it is that you have. as an affirmation that works for you. And that's what he was saying. The repeat of those then starts to sink into your mind, and then whenever they start to take hold and start to become of your life, a part of your life, then things really begin to happen. And so repetition of these things is what I want to kind of focus on here this evening, because repetition is how we learn. I mean, let's think about that. Whenever you began to walk, that you didn't get it the first time. You had to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat until finally you was walking 10 or 15 steps consecutively, and then 30 or 40, and then you were running, because now that had become a conviction in your life, and you could and then things began to change in your life. And that's the same idea I think that he's talking about, or that I took from it. And I associate that to the sports figures, him being a sports figure himself as well. And I'm not one who likes to go and sit down and watch a lot of sports and learn those things. That's just not me. But sports figures and people who do a lot of training and they have a lot of discipline in their life have something of value we can learn from them in. And so a couple examples I have here on the board is, the first one I have up here is that we have Tiger Woods being an example of a person who done repetitions in his life as he got out there and took those strokes of that golf course, And I even read at one time how he watched a movie, like in his first major event that he won, that he sat down and watched, and I don't remember the exact number, but it was like he watched this film of this course 15 or 20 times, and he would go out into the course and he would learn how the hills flowed and what happened here and what happened there when you hit the ball so and so. And by him doing that, he entered that tournament believing he could win, and he did win. And that actually happened up there in Augusta, Georgia. And I said, and I don't remember the years, nothing like that. And I'm not a big fan. I have people that can tell you numbers and quotes and days about their favorite people in such a world. But the other thing that I heard the other day, who was it that J.T. DeBolt was talking about, this man here, this next guy here, and that would be Larry Bird, that before every game, wherever he was at, if it was his home court, that he would go in there before the game began, however early he went in, and he would take the basketball and bounce it in every square of that whole court so that he would know that court. And he done it every time, over and over and over. We take the Michael Jordan, another great basketball player. How many times was it that he shot the hoop, making sure he could ring every time? What was it, 200-300 times every day that he would do that he would get those 300 shots in every day, until it finally became that he knew when the ball left his hand, it was hitting the hoop. He knew every time. He knew those things. Many times in the world of religion that we learn things about who our God is, and we learn those things by repetition. I know that in the scriptures, as I study those, that's how you learn them. You find them and you repeat them in your life. You find out how they work in your life. You repeat them every day until you get them to become a part of your life. And then things begin to change. When people come to where I work at, and I work in the building business, actually in a hardware store or a supply store that supplies lumbers and moldings and doors and windows and so forth. And I've been there a while. And when people come and I talk to them about what is there to learn, and you walk through the molding aisle rack, and we don't even carry half of the moldings that are made in this world. We just carry many of the basic stuff that is more common to where we work at in the area we are in. Because, I mean, there's just a ton of moldings out there to learn. And they'll go, I don't know if I can learn this, in 2 or 3 days. And I tell them, I don't expect you to learn it in 2 or 3 days. What I expect you to do is to go over the same things every day. When you get a ticket in your hand, you look at it, you will get to learn this by way of repetition, because you're going to pull this every day. And if you will compare the number on the paper and look and see how that looks, what it is. Get it in your mind. It won't be very long before, because of the repetitions, you learn that, and you can tell somebody, if you go get you a PSJ 129, they will know exactly what it is, because it comes to work in their mind, and their work becomes more efficient. And so those are the things that I wanted to bring to our attention this evening, is that we need to have repetition in our life to be able to build belief about whatever it is we're doing. And so for me tonight, in the subject that we're talking about, I just want to give us a few examples of how people in their professions, how they used repetitions, as Muhammad Ali spoke about, and as David Scoletti used in his book, to show, and that's what I want to get to here in just a second, to show why belief is so important in whatever you're doing. You know, I mean, you have to have belief in what. If you are just a mom, you have to believe you're a good mom, and you have to repeat those things, or what you're doing to be a good mom, for that to become a life-changing event in your life, okay? But it doesn't matter. You have to do that. You have to have that belief that you can do it, that you are good at it, that you are the best, that you are valuable, you are the leader people are looking for, or whatever it is. By repeating those affirmations and the work that is necessary to do, you become where you believe without a doubt you can handle any situation in that context, because you're that good at it. So, in his book, David Scoletti, let me read that quote to you one more time here, because that's so important. And many quotes are, and they probably were said by somebody before them, but these are the ones that are written down that we have today. And it says, "It is the repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes deep conviction, things begin to happen." Now, I bring that to our attention, as I said this evening, because, well, it's the next thing in the chapter, next thing in the book, that he has a line that we have to go back again, because we already talked about belief one time, and we went back to it again. But now, so, for the area that I am interested in, the working in what I do, in marketing, you know, in learning that field, and being an entrepreneur for myself, so that whenever I get ready to retire, I can do that and not retire to just nothing, but retire into this business and have freedom, have financial freedom, and still be able to help people like yourselves out, and to be able to teach and to promote and to show people how they can become successful and be dependent upon themselves instead of everybody else in the world or the government or whatever it is. So, all right. So, David talks about here in his book that the first thing, that if you are in a network marketing company, a company of any sort, even if it's your own company, it doesn't matter. The very first thing you have to have a belief in is your product. A brief reason why is, if you don't believe in your product, why would you even be selling it in the first place, huh? I mean, really, if it's no good, then quit trying to sell it. And that's just a small reason. You know, you have to become a product of your product. And when you become a product of your product, then your belief is built, because you've used it repetition. You've used it over and over and over, and you know it works. You see it works. You got proof it works. The next thing he talks about is you need to have belief in the company that you represent, whatever it is, because many of us, when we start out in this world, in this profession, this world here, we don't have our own products. So we use other people's in whatever means. I mean, there's different ways of network marketing, or MLM, or affiliate marketing, and so forth. And that's a smart move. I want to tell you that when you don't start out and you're learning, you want to find these products out here that other companies have, and you have to believe in that company just like you do the product. If you think the company is no good, then why would you recommend it to somebody? Yeah, get involved with these people. Yeah, they'll rip you off, man, or whatever it is you might have. We don't want to go there. You want to have a belief in a ground firm thing when people ask you about your company, that you can say it with enthusiasm, with belief, and you can come across to them people as, this is why I'm part of this team, is because of this company. And when I say company, I really refer to it as the team that you're working under, because just having a name on a billboard doesn't mean too much. It has to be the people. You know, people leave companies because of the people there or the managers there, and they join the companies or the people because of the people. So it is always the people. We are a relationship-built people. A human being needs relationships, and that's what we join. The next thing is the network marketing profession. Now, this is the tough one, and I only want to name these 5 items tonight. And this is why. Is because many companies or many professions have been giving a bad name. And again, it is not because of the profession, it is because of the professors. Those who profess to be marketers or gurus or whatever in those companies. And so, as stated, as how Ray Higdon would say it, he says, people are not turned off by network marketing, they are turned off by network marketers. And that again identifies the people. But the profession, my friends, the profession of network marketing has made many, many, many 5, 6, 7, and 8-figure earners from way back when, and still are producing it. And so it is a very great profession to be in. You know, many people, they think that, oh, I don't want to be in sales. That's you know, hokey pokey, or they'll try to rip you off, this, that, and the other. Again, not the profession. The people of the profession cause that. And it comes from somebody that got done wrong somewhere, because there are those in this world who do and will take advantage of people when they can. But if you hold true to the belief that the network marketing teaches, as he said before, that it is a self-improvement program that happens to come with a product. And self-improvement means you're getting better. You're trustworthy. People love you more. You are able to, I just had a word, integrity. Is you build your integrity, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And you got to be trustworthy to do that. In that profession, that's what they teach. You can't go out there and rip people off and expect to get return of goods into your household. Next thing is the team of people that you are working with. You know, no matter where you're working, if you came into this business because somebody else introduced you to this to show you some value and to show you something good that could help you and that could change your life, then you have to believe in that person. Now, sometimes that person changes their mind. That doesn't mean that what they showed you was not a fact. But if you're working with that group still, your upline, your downline, you know, you attract to you the people that you like to have and that you like to work with, which are usually people like you, or either they're people who have a talent or a skill that you don't have, but you have one that they don't have, and therefore you attract to one another to fill those needs. And so you have to have belief in the people you are working with, the people that you are surrounded with. If not, you're always in a state of non-trust, and you never will move ahead. We're going to cover more on these things later. Last one, and this is usually the toughest one, is you have to have belief in yourself. That's usually the hardest one to overcome. Many times we just simply don't believe that we can do this or that, or I'm not worthy, and whatever it might be. I'm not valuable enough. What do I have that people are going to buy from me? You know, or what can they learn from me? Little old me out here in the middle of the woods. What can they learn? And so having belief in yourself is very important. It will be very powerful in your life once you get that there. And so building belief in these 5 areas is something that we're going to talk about over the next 5 days. I'd like to cover each one of these kind of separately because they're worthy. David covers them and kind of extensive in his book. And if I'm going to try to repeat the information in my own terms, then I certainly want to try to give out the correct information and display it as importantly as he does. My friends, I hope that this has helped you this evening to start to examine yourself again, to put yourself back in the road of building belief. And you might not have fallen off anywhere, but it's always a good reminder, because why? Repetition builds belief in ourselves and so forth. And so we continue to do that, and as we will add repetition again, my friends, I'll be back on here tomorrow night. If you have found value in this, please leave a comment below. Please share it with somebody who could use it as well. Guide them to my page here, if you will. Get them to like it. That would be very wonderful of you if you would do that. And if you'd like to, also visit my blog at baxtercribs.com and read my blog over there. And my friends, we will see you tomorrow night. Have a good night now.